Hi, my name is Bill Bergman. This is the snippet of the day today based on our book, Avoid Fiscal and Economic Disaster with Ethics, Economics, and Excellence, a book I've recently written with Larry Feltus. The snippet of the day today is based on news development, including AI is growing in scope and scale in ways that are going to be remarkable for the overall economy and public policy, and Pope Leo has recently written a vigorous and thorough encyclical about artificial intelligence, among other things, calling for robust regulation of artificial intelligence. A longer story, and this is just a snippet of the day today, but we're not going to get too in depth. But here's some lessons from some of the folks we respect in our book that say, be careful what you wish for when it comes to regulation. These two people are Paul Douglas on the left, former Chicago school economist who became a city council alderman in Chicago, as well as a United States senator from Illinois. And on the right is George Stigler, a foundational member of the University of Chicago School of Economics, and specifically the School of Regulation Economics. Stigler's principal main contribution in this area is something called the theory of economic regulation, an article he wrote in the early 70s. Stigler's become famous for something called the capture theory of regulation. What's the main idea here? And think about regulation of AI in this context. Regulation may be actively sought by an industry or thrust upon it. A central thesis of this paper is that, as a rule, regulation is acquired by the industry and is designed and operated primarily for its benefit. In other words, regulators tend to be captured by the industries that they regulate. That was Stigler's main conclusion in this article. That's become pretty well respected in the world of the public choice school of economics. Stigler has become famous for this, but 20 years earlier, a great person, Paul Douglas, a fellow who wrote in the same year, 1952, a book called Ethics in Government, a great leader, I think, in that area. His article, Improvement of Ethical Standards in Federal Government, included the notation that all too often, those who are supposedly being regulated actually regulate their nominal regulators. So again, be careful what you wish for in regulation, because government doesn't always work for the common good. It works for well-organized special interest groups. That's the central tendency of the concerns of the public choice school of economics. Fundamentally, government officials, maybe they're like the rest of us, they pursue their self-interest. And because they do, most of the time, not all the time, well-organized special interest groups tend to dominate public policy, quote unquote public policy. And as a consequence, government may oftentimes tend to serve the few at the expense of the many. The people that are well-organized, manipulating the tools of government, do so in their interest, not necessarily in the interest of the general welfare. So for thinking about these ideas from those people, again, these are snippets, lots to talk about here, but our book, Stepping Back, we call for dedication to principles of limited government and ethical voluntary behavior and leadership from all of us, not just the government in markets, including markets for artificial intelligence. We also, it's worthy of noting that government is very large and very complicated these days. Artificial intelligence has a lot of potential for improving the quality and productivity of government, as long as we let it or don't allow well-organized groups to stop that from happening by regulating AI. In turn, our book, calls for civic responsibility and stepping to the plate as citizens and staying on top of developments in this area and demanding public-spirited government intervention in AI is probably a good thing for all of us to pursue. So that's it for today, and I hope you have a good rest of your week.